Hello, you beautiful legends, and welcome to Blunt Force Healing Podcast, episode 272. So, I'm recording it because my wife and my son Julian they went out for a quick walk. So, I want to use that opportunity that nobody's home and it's not noisy out here. And also, it's 20:05, 20:06 almost, which is 8 p.m. In a 12-hour system. And that means that while it's a bit late in the day, I'm still before the committed deadline, which I slipped a little bit recently. So I kind of committed to doing the podcast and writing the blog post in parallel before 10 p.m. But while it went very good for quite long, I think about 2 or 3 days in a row, I did it much later than 10 p.m. or 22, depending on which time system you're using, 24 hours or 12 hours clock. And while I'm not super happy about it, I'm not also concerned because it's not affecting my other stuff that much as it used to be, and why that commitment actually came to play. I did stay over, midnight time until 1 or 2 o'clock, 2 or 3 times. So yes, I have a little bit less energy, and I didn't sleep that good as I would wish. But again, I allowed myself those 2 3 nights because I felt a lot of stress in the recent weeks because of one specific project and one big document that I was reviewing, and it was dreadful, to be honest. But I managed to do that between Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah, could you see that bloody fly on the screen? I'm not cutting that out. So yes, I managed to do that Wednesday to Thursday, and it felt like a huge burden fell off my shoulders, um, and you know that made me kind of that boosted my morale and my mental, I would say, state improved. And I thought that I deserved a little bit of relax time because I didn't have much time to relax in those last couple of weeks. And I did silly things after midnight. I was just watching some comedy stuff like Chris D'Elia, Bobby Lee, or Andrew Santino, Andrew Schultz, and other guys that I really love to watch. Ricky Gervais and other comedians that are really lifting me up. I love their sense of humor and the fact that they understand what the jokes are about and that they are jokes, so they can joke about anything. For some people it's probably unacceptable, but hey, these are jokes, and as long as they are jokes, we can really joke about anything. That's my uh, kind of opinion as well. And I love to joke about even very sensitive things that we don't really want to talk, I would say, badly. And of course, there's a reason. They are sensitive topics, and we should protect people that are, um, you know, suspect to bullying or discrimination, etc., in real life, in normal circumstances where we are serious and where it uh, is, counting. But in in a comedy and in jokes, there is no limits. They are jokes. They are not our opinions. They are not the way we think about those things. They are jokes. And as soon as people understand it, those who might not, their life gets much, much easier, funnier, and happier, while you still maintain that stance where you respect different topics like racism, fighting the racism, and making sure that we kind of change the world slightly into being in a better place, the discrimination of different minorities, and other areas that are very sensitive and need attention and need the open-minded society. But again, jokes are jokes, they are not opinions, and every time I see comedians and hear comedians being able to joke about even the darkest things, it makes me feel better, because I think what mechanism psychologically works is that, because there are topics or taboos that we do not discuss, or we can't joke about in a serious situations, because obviously we don't want to offend anyone, and it's not the right place to make jokes. We suppress some emotions inside us, and I think that is not it's not that far from building a trauma, because we are, by suppressing emotions, we are building up something really bad inside of us. There is a reason why we have emotions like anger, sadness, all the other things that we call bad emotions. They are not bad emotions, they are specific emotions designed to release the air from our inflated mental state. And of course, when we are angry, we should be able to relieve that or release that anger, but in a way that we don't harm others or ourselves. And one of those mechanisms is exactly jokes. And in general, humor is amazing tool to help in bad mental states, and where you're in a dark place, your demons come and you start thinking about really bad things that might happen to you, or that maybe you're not worth it. That's what comes to my mind as well. Very often, I was in a very bad mental state multiple times in my life, and I was fortunate to get out of it without any help from others. But it doesn't mean that we shouldn't seek help from others. Quite the opposite, we should. And if you have people that can help you, you definitely should ask. You definitely should speak to people when you feel like you're going into dark places. And there's nothing bad about it, or nothing wrong, or nothing to be ashamed of. If you don't have anyone to talk, there are not only the volunteer groups and helplines with real people on the other end that want to talk to you, and they have that time dedicated for you. Whoever rings, they will speak to you, and they will make sure to minimize your bad state and help you out. Whether they will or not, it's not up to them and up to you. It's a combination of both. But yes, there are people. And if you're really against the wall and you don't want to ring anywhere, please feel free to send a message to me. you know I'm just one person. Of course, if 100 people writes to me, which is unlikely at the moment because I don't have so many followers probably, but still, I have limited options. I myself am not in a place to help someone, I guess, because I'm not trained in psychology, or I might not be qualified to deal with those things. But on the other hand, I am qualified a little bit, because I am the human being. I went through mental states that are very difficult to get out from, and at least I can support a person that is in a similar state, and tell them how it might be easier to get out of it, or minimize it, or alleviate that pain, or maybe where should they go and who should they speak to, because you don't need to be an expert to show empathy. Empathy is a very scarce element at the moment because we all are busy with our lives. We all need to focus on our lives and our health as a priority. Uh, it's a total BS if somebody tells you different, that you should take care about others first. That's not true. There are multiple arguments that kind of defeat the idea of taking care about others, because if you don't care about yourself, you are going into a dark place. You're becoming weak. You are becoming vulnerable. How are you about to help anyone when you're the one that needs help? So it's always priority to make sure that you're healthy, that your mind is in the right place, and that you're well slept over, where you maintain well in terms of activity. So you are as strong as possible in your case to support others. That's not to say that you should focus only about yourself or only on yourself and be the only priority to take care about yourself, but that should be the number one, because then you become useful, then you are less vulnerable, so you're not becoming a burden for anyone because you're actually needing more help than the people that you are trying to help, but also you are in a strong position to support more people than you would if you weren't strong enough. So these are just kind of top things that come to my head straight away that I think put that priority on yourself into perspective, and is very important. Listen, guys, it's 12 minutes in. I didn't want to bore you too much today, especially that it's Saturday. My family is on the walk already. I want to have a quick run, so I won't be making prolonged episode today. Just wanted to check with you, make sure that you are all right and you're having a good day, and your weekend is in a fairly stable state. There is not much updates about today, to be honest. From my side, we were only in Letterkenny for a short trip because we had to buy a couple of things that are only available in Letterkenny, the closest to us in terms of amenities. We kind of got stuck in the traffic because the whole rally, or the Donegal rally, which is the international racing that happens in Ireland, it was in our area yesterday. It moved to the north now for the next couple of stages, and it will be continuing through tomorrow at the top, I would say, north of Donegal County. But even though the stages are in rural areas, it brings a lot of tourists, a lot of enthusiasts of racing, even with their own cars. And these people make the area denser. There's a lot more cars, a lot more people, and this is what we encountered in Letterkenny. So we kind of lost about a half an hour to an hour of time that we normally would save when we went in and out back to Donegal. So yeah, I'll be finishing now. I can see that my wife is calling me from the walk, so I'm not sure why. I want to make sure that it's nothing nothing serious. So I'll be wrapping up now. There will be a longer update hopefully tomorrow. So thank you very much for coming and listening to me, and hope to see you tomorrow again. Stay tuned and see you tomorrow, which is Sunday.